It's Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone, and Merry Christmas, Brock and Giant Andrew. How you guys doing? Brock, did Santa Claus come to town?
He did, and he left me a court notice. I have jury duty.
Uh, awesome. Andrew, you obviously got a lump of coal. Which I don't know what would be worse, jury duty or a lump of coal.
Well, let's just say I'm the reason that they needed the jury.
Is it the Industrial Revolution? Coal is big during the Industrial Revolution.
All right. Well, look, we're going to do an episode of favorite things we did this last Christmas. We're going to do it this Christmas. This is just a time for us to sit back and talk about some of your favorite things that you guys are watching and you sent it into us, the Patreons did. So we have a few. And one of my favorite things, when I was a kid, I used to get a lot of Chew Toys, a lot of Star Wars action figures for Christmas. And so I wanted to ask you guys, is there a Star Wars action figure that you got for Christmas that really stood out, or just one in general that you got as a gift that you're like, this is the greatest gift I've ever received?
Fan favorite, Andrew?
I remember getting one.
Do you want to answer first?
No, go ahead.
No. I want you to answer first.
Andrew, you start.
I remember getting one I think I was 10 years old, and we just got back from like a Christmas dinner, and it was like 2 a.m, and I was like, let's open stuff. And I got 3, I can't remember if they were together or not, but I got like a little dinky little R2 toy, and then I got Han Solo with his Endor coat, and I got the monkey face Leia. And like all 3 of those, I remember opening them that night, and I was like, "This is really cool. I'm gonna try to have adventures with only these characters, not because those were the only Star Wars toys I had." So I mingled them with my Jurassic Park ones, and hilarity ensued.
Is that like the re-release?
The crossover I like to see.
The re-release of the figures in like the '90s, sort of. That's the ones you're talking about.
Yeah, that was like '97.
Yeah. I remember getting Han Solo, C-3PO, and R2-D2. Based on nothing. I think I was excited when they brought the movies out again. I think that was why I got it. Oh man, I still have those. I feel like I should answer with Star Wars, and I guess that's my answer, but like Super Nintendo. Getting that at Christmas? Hugely great. James?
Well, that's just, you were spoiled, clearly, Brock. For me, I don't. Ewok Village was a huge moment in my life. I think I've mentioned that a few times on the show. I don't even know that was a Christmas gift, but it was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And our Patreons, Phil Staniforth and Christina Allison, have their favorite Ewoks are Wicked. But we have some of our Patreons, their favorite action figures. Phil Staniforth's favorite was a classic Gamorrean Guard. That is definitely up there with me. I don't know if you guys had the original Gamorrean Guard toy. That was one of my favorite figures of all time. Probably why it's one of my favorite Star Wars characters who I'm hearing rumors will appear in The Mandalorian. You guys hearing that one, Andrew?
Yeah.
I did not hear that one, but now I'm curious. Brock, here's a question for you, because you have so many pops. What's your favorite Star Wars pop that you own right now?
Talking to me?
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just got
Probably one of the Stormtroopers. I don't think you can see it here. Or can you? Yes. But they're down here. I really like the Clone Trooper ones that I'm releasing. Like, have you seen I got the Wolf or Cody? I think it's here, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like, look at this. Like, it's nice stylized, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is a Wolf, right? Yeah.
That's...
Oh, no, sorry, this is Cody.
Yeah,
this is Cody.
That's really nice.
I have the Wolf came out in the Black Series. Did you see those? Because I know you love Black Series. Did you see the new Black Series that came out this Christmas?
I didn't see any of them. No, the EBs around me, all the EB games are really ghetto, and they never stock new Black Series. Like, they're just stocking like Force Awakens Black Series right now. So like I can only see them like when we're somewhere that's not Brampton.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened in a while.
I don't know if they came out specifically for Christmas, but there was like I think Dengar came out. I'm sure you're like up to date on the news about it. Did you not know Dengar came out?
I didn't know Dengar came. I remember seeing. I think Forlom. I remember seeing like a Forlom was coming, but like I didn't know when it was coming. But I never saw Dengar. That's really cool.
And then I was in Black Friday. No, I was in the States for Black Friday, and they have a Zuckuss. The Zuckuss is out for Black Series. I was with my friend Dwayne, and we were looking at figures, and he picks one up, Zuckuss, and I'm like, oh my god! And he's like, and I said, and it's Zuckuss, or is it? I think it's pronounced Zuckuss. Like I don't think anyone really talks about that character very much. So if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. I
think we just need to. I think we just clearly need to ask Aaron to continue dropping us off at Walgreens every time we pass one. I think that's the moral of the story.
I got two top pops right here. Kit Fisto, Bucky got me that.
Yeah.
And Darth Ward, this one.
Yeah, that one.
Grievous right here. Dan Allen's favorite is the Reylo Force Awakens Funko Pop. That's Dan Allen on the list. Also, guys, there's a contest coming up where you can win a copy of your book on hand.
Yes, I do.
Ta-da. How many pages is that book?
I'll tell you, James. It is 620.
Wow.
What? Like, I got how long did it take you to write that book?
1 year.
Oh, wow.
Haley wants to know. 1 year to write the novel. Was that first draft or every draft?
First draft.
Okay.
And then about half a year of edits.
Oh, wow.
So a year and a half it took to get it from point A to buy my damn book.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do a contest later on. We're going to find out what Andrew's favorite Star Wars novel is. Let us know in an email at rebelscumbags@gmail.com, and you'll be entered for a chance to win Side Scroller signed by Darth Ward.
Oh, yeah. No,
right.
We're going to do the forward. I still want to do that. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to do a forward. Yeah. So if you buy your copy today, you will not get the forward by Brock and myself. But if you buy it in the next week or so, Andrew will slide it in there. So all future copies will have a forward of this book good.
Nice.
It's a good book. You check it out. We'll put a link in the description on this video if it works. It might not work like last week, but we will try it and we'll put it on so you can buy a copy if you want. But if you want to try to win it, stay tuned to this. We're not going to warn you when we're doing it. You have to pay attention to Andrew Fantasia's favorite Star Wars novel. Spoiler alert! It is a Return of the Jedi pop-up book from 1983. I had that book. All right, let's go on to
if you pull the tab, the Gamorrean goes like this. Oh boy.
This is a big deal. Andrew got me this for my birthday last year. So it did not rank in my top Christmas gifts because it was 6 months early for Christmas. Let's go on to favorite characters. No surprise here. We've got some Luke Skywalker, some Obi-Wans, some Han Solos, obviously. Heidi Fedor as a child. Now she's a Han fan, but as a child she was a Leia fan / supporter. But then Dan Allen, once again, blowing our minds with Hondo.
Gotta go with Hondo. Very nice.
And I don't know if we ever talked about this on the podcast, but Hondo is going to be part of the park. Or at least that's the leak I saw. Or not a leak. Someone was on Instagram at like a presentation for the park, and they showed a picture of live-action Hondo Anaka Christmas Miracle.
I think you mentioned that on a news story.
That makes perfect sense too, because Disney parks are like designed to separate you from your money, and so is Hondo. So he can walk around and get you to buy things from him at exorbitant prices.
Oh my God. I agree with this. Oh, he could be like the new Gaston for the Disney parks.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Let's move on. Let's move away from the Han, Luke, and Leia, because we've got those answers. those responses. Let's go with secondary characters. Who are your favorite secondary characters?
I mean, the easy answer would be like bounty hunters, I guess. But you know what? I'll switch it up. I really do love all the characters from like Clone Wars. Like, I don't know. Would you consider the clone troopers main or side characters? I mean, sometimes the story is about them specifically, right?
Well, I think when you're talking about the Clone Wars specifically, they're main. But I think in the grand scheme of Star Wars universally, I think they are minor characters.
Yeah, because like
the side characters.
Like Captain Cody, you know, you see him like once or twice in the movies, or well, more importantly, in the last one or the third one, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And then they kind of wrap a whole story around that by making him one of the main clones in Clone Wars. So I like that. Andrew, what's your side character favorite?
So I guess Palpatine doesn't count as a side character, right? I got to dig a little deeper for this.
You should screw us and just be like Darth Sidious. Oh.
Oh wow, side characters are tough. Okay, I don't know if maybe he's too front and center to be considered a side character, but one character who just never fails to make me smile every time he shows up is General Grievous. Every single time I am on board when I see him.
Yeah, you're right. Like he's not. Oh my god. Oh, this dog is the best thing that happened to this podcast. The camera's gonna fall over. Anyway, sorry, Andrew. Yeah, General Grievous. Like he's such a like almost minor part in Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, he's huge in the show, and a lot of like, you know, I guess comics and like the original cartoon they did. But yeah, what a great character. Good pick.
I think Grievous is one of my favorite. I have the pop. I have a diecast. I believe there's a black series of him coming, or is it already out? I think I saw something somewhere.
I think it's out, maybe.
And if
I need that.
Yeah, and if Andrew's in shock right now because I know you want that, I would get that one as well. But Grievous is fantastic. He's one that the Clone Wars. He's a character you're like, I wish they fleshed him out more. So he got his due. This is one that I didn't ask anybody, but I want to ask you guys. I want to put you on the spot right now, Brock. I'll start with you on this one. A moment in Star Wars that you did not see coming, that you are not necessarily surprised about, but you're like, I'm very happy with that.
Okay, so in Battle for Endor, they're going to go find Sindel. I don't know. Didn't see coming. I guess, you know, Leia floating through space was like, whoa, that's crazy. It wasn't. I don't really have hypotheses a lot about like what's about to happen in the movie, even though we just did an episode of what we thought was gonna happen in episode 9. But I think that was like I think I get mystified by what these new movies are able to accomplish. Oh, like Vader. Okay, I'll just pick one that makes sense. Vader in Rogue One coming onto the ship and go. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, for me, I would say the Vader moment in Rogue One and Maul appearing in Solo. Everyone knows I'm a huge Darth Maul fan, and I had no idea he was going to appear in that movie while I was watching the movie and at the end of the movie. And I love that it was Ray Park and Sam Witwer combining to make Maul. It was like all the Mauls came together for Solo, and so you hope that in some way that can all be brought back. Whether I don't care if it's on streaming, I don't care if it's on I watch an ABC show about Maul coming back. If it's those two combined to make Maul, but you know, I think that was one of the moments. Those two moments for me were the ones I was like, yes. Andrew, wait, I know what you're gonna say, but say it anyway.
All right.
I have no idea what you're gonna say about him.
I think Maul and Solo definitely qualifies. Every twist in The Last Jedi definitely qualifies. But one moment that's like a moment that I definitely didn't expect that I really ended up enjoying was the opera scene in Revenge of the Sith. Like, that's not something that you would expect to see in a Star Wars, I think. Just two folks sitting watching opera and waxing poetic about God knows what. But I don't think there's a person on Earth who hates that scene. Like, it's such a powerful, fun scene. And getting to see Palpatine really kind of be the snake whispering in Anakin's ear in that moment, I was just like, I'm so glad they put this in this movie.
Yeah. That's a good point. How about this, though, for a Darth Maul TV show? It's a Lifetime Christmas movie where Darth Maul needs to make money to get Christmas gifts for all his Sith friends, and the only job he can do is pretending to be Santa at the mall, and you call it Mall Santa. Maul Santa.
Oh. And then he meets a really great woman, but she's a single mom, and they connect like right away.
And she's from Tatooine, and he knocks her up. Oh my goodness. And there's talk of metachlorians.
All right, let's move on to musical cue. We got some Imperial marches, a lot of binary sunsets this time as well. Yeah, I know. I was surprised by the amount of binary sunsets that came in. Imperial March is obviously one of the big. It's a classic. I love the use of it in Solo. My favorite Star Wars theme, though, might be Duel of the Fates, but it might also be every other piece of music that is in Star Wars. Just like ranking the movies, it is nearly impossible to rank the music in Star Wars. I will say the John Williams theme for Solo, a Star Wars story, like the Han Solo theme, and that it's pretty good. But the entire was it John Powell that did this score? The whole Solo soundtrack is fantastic. So, but I think I'll go with Duel of the Fates on this one. Andrew, where are you on the music cue for Star Wars?
This was a hard one, man. When you told me I had to pick one of these, because like the Star Wars music, just every single thing is just like paradise.
Well, I'm hoping you pick the one that I'm hoping you're going to pick.
I think I might. For the longest time, longest time, my answer would have been Across the Stars, the love theme from Attack of the Clones. And it's still up there. But I think I'm gravitating more and more now towards Your Father Would Be Proud from Rogue One. It's very different. It's very not John Williams-y, and it's very much a Giacchino kind of piece. But damn, does it ever give me goosebumps every time I hear it.
You had a long, like 4.5, 5 hour drive, 3 hour, whatever it was, drive it, and you listened to Rogue One on a loop, I believe you told me. You were like nonstop that. So no surprise there for Brock. Oh, sorry, Andrew, go on.
Oh no, it was a long drive, and I listened to it, and it ate up a lot of the time. But when that song came on, it was like, okay, don't cry. You got to focus on the road.
My initial response is to say something fun like the Ewoks singing at the end of Return of the Jedi, or Lin-Manuel Miranda's Maz Kanata's Castle, whatever it's actually called, where he's like, or whatever it is. But one thing, and this is just sounds like a cop-out, but like one of the things that is Star Wars is the movie starts, it goes black, that Lucasfilm logo comes up, and a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and you're blasted by the trumpets of like the original, like the main score of Star Wars, and it's just like, you can't watch something and have those visuals and then that sound connected and not like go, oh my god, and have goosebumps. So it sounds simple. Absolutely. Like who doesn't like that main score, opening score, like, but it's a visceral effect that the movies have on me.
I can't argue with that. I don't know about you guys, but every once in a while I do miss the Fox fanfare at the beginning of the movies, because it gave you that, like, okay, we're in it. And then the silence was so much more impactful, and then the theme kind of when it hit, and I always combine them. I give my head. I was associated with Star Wars. It's like always it was just part of the theme for me growing up, because that's, I mean, when you're a kid, you don't really know what's going on the business side. So our last question that we asked the Patreons for favorite novels. I don't have Den Allen's on here right now. I might go back to that while you guys are talking. But we got Christine Allison is Thrawn, excellent novel Thrawn. I have now read Thrawn Alliances, but she just has the first Thrawn, so she obviously doesn't care for alliances. I'm just joking. And Splinter of the Mind's Eye for Phil Staniforth. Andrew, I'm going to go to you first on this one while I look up what Den Allen's is that we brought. But what is your favorite Star Wars novel?
With the novels, it feels like it's always changing, just like with the favorite movies. Right now, it's Bloodline. Every time I go revisit that in my head, I'm just like, you know what? That one left the biggest impact. That one felt the most important to the world of Star Wars. Like when I read other ones, like a New Dawn or Thrawn Alliances, I'm like, this is so disposable. Like I could have never heard this story, and I would still feel like I'm in the loop. Whereas Bloodline, I felt like I needed it to kind of piece a lot of stuff together.
Speaking of Bloodline, on the same wavelength there, Den Allen's is Leia, Princess of Alderaan. He said, seriously, everyone who loves Star Wars should read this. Brock, what would yours be?
A Wookiee storybook, the book that went along with the Star Wars Holiday Special. No, I've always heard about that book, and I've never been able to find it. I remember it was in the system at our local library in Niagara, and I never was able to take it out. I'm kind of stuck because I really, really enjoy what they're doing with the extended versions of the movie, like the novelization of the movie. What they did with Last Jedi is just like, wow, there's so much more to this. And the Han Solo book was similar. I mean, there wasn't as much added stuff as Last Jedi, but it's a no-brainer. They need to do these more often, and I'm not saying it saves a movie or anything like that. It just adds to it. You're like, oh yeah, that would be cool. That would go. Oh, this makes more sense. You get more in depth on characters because you can hear their inner monologues and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would go with those. Like those are fun. And what was the other book from a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year? From a certain point of view. So I don't know. That didn't really come out this year, did it? Are we just counting books that came out this year?
Last year.
Or last year?
No, you can have any book you want.
Any book, yeah, okay,
that's ever come out this Star Wars.
I really enjoy now that they're, well, not now, they've always been doing this, but like I like taking something you've already seen and then giving it a little bit extra flavor, which is what most Star Wars fans love about this franchise. But like there's so many things in that book that are just fun, but then others are like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, what was Mon Mothma doing during New Hope? What was Yoda doing? You're like, so anyways.
If anybody from Lucasfilm Story Group is watching this, please make certain point of view books for every movie.
Oh yeah,
because that was so much fun.
You did Shakespeare. Why wouldn't you just do all of them? Like, it's a no-brainer. Like, and you can exactly. You can get so many people involved because they just write a short story or whatever. Ugh. I love it. Hey, can you guys remember what the name of that space worm in the meteor thing in Empire Strikes Back? Where it's like, this is no cave. What is the name of that thing?
That is an Andrew Fantasia question.
I was trying to remember that recently.
Oh God,
I could have Googled it, but I had things to do.
I think it's a long word.
Yeah.
It's like it's not Leviathan, but it's something.
Yeah, I was like Dianoga. I'm like, no, that's from the trash compactor. But yeah,
Exogorth. It is an Exogorth.
Yes,
Exogorth.
Yes,
Exogorth.
And like my mention of Dianoga, the reason I bring it up is like, wouldn't it be awesome to have his point of view in an Empire Strikes Back? And I'm like, that's weird. What would you like? They did it with a Dianoga. Why can't they do it with that? That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Exogorth.
All right, guys. Let's wrap it up with one final topic, just for us. Nobody else got asked this. We'll ask this in the new year. Nick Nolte will be playing it. I'm not in The Mandalorian. I guess he's just doing the voice of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been revealed. He'll be voicing one anyway. Andrew kind of told me about that, and I thought he was actually joking. And then I read the article. I was like, oh, Andrew was being serious. Because I think I had a cheeky response to his message to me. So coming up, 2019 is going to be here. We're going to Star Wars Celebration. We're going to be seeing a lot more of the I think that even releases this year. We'll be seeing more Resistance. We'll be seeing more Clone Wars. Episode 9 is on the horizon. Andrew, let me start with you. I'll finish off with Brock. What coming up in Star Wars world are you most excited for in 2019?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish Nick Nolte was playing Old Man Dengar, but I'll settle for an Ugnaught. I think most excited for is either Rian Johnson trilogy or Benioff and Weiss series because of how different it's going to be. I just want to know something about it, like just something. I'm just dying for info on that. So that's probably what the itch I want scratched the most right now.
I'm going to go next, Brock. I will leave the final bit of the show to you. I'm going to go simple. Episode 9. I want to see how they wrap this all up. Brock, on to you. What in 2019 are you anticipating the most?
Well, in Star Wars, definitely. When does Disney Play officially?
Yeah,
launch?
personally, it's fine. There's no official date yet.
Because that is very exciting to me, and obviously we're gonna get delayed to getting in Canada, but like it'll come here. Or whatever. Or hopefully, if it doesn't come here, we'll get that stuff in a different channel. But outside of Episode 9, of course, I'm gonna say the Star Wars park opening. I am very excited for that. I'm a big Disney fan. I'm going to Orlando in January to go to Disney again for the second time in 6 months. I don't know. James, you understand because you just went. Andrew, you need to get on the Disney train. So I'm really interested in seeing how that goes. There's a lot of, it's crazy how many new Star Wars things are coming. And it's like, wow. Even though people are like, oh, I didn't like The Last Jedi. I'm like, who cares? We're going to make this anyway. So what a time to be alive.
It's funny you say people hating The Last Jedi because episode 113, I jokingly called it in YouTube how the Last Jedi saved Star Wars, which was just like a riff on Christmas, how blah 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 saved Christmas, or like that. That's what I called it. That just for the hate that title got is kind of, we got emails. It's funny that's still there, but I don't care. Well, we also kind of talk about it in there. I was going to call it Ray will die in episode 9, but I decided not to. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this Christmas afternoon. It is a frisky, cold one out there. Unfortunately, it's not a white Christmas. I don't know. It's like 2 days before Christmas. But I'm guessing it's not going to be white Christmas. And thanks, everybody, for submitting your answers to those questions. Andrew, show your book once again.
Yo. You want to win this?
How many pages is that? Yeah.
620.
620. That is insane.
You can't.
But it is a good novel. Mine has shipped. It is on the way. I'm hoping it will get here in time for you to sign it for me in person. We can get a picture of you signing it, like Lucasfilm and Disney when they signed over that. We'll do a picture in that vein when we have it. If you guys want to win that, pay attention to what we were talking about on the show. Tell us Andrew's favorite Star Wars novel. And you have a chance to win Bloodline. Andrew, anything you want to say before we wrap this puppy up?
I think this is our last one before Christmas hits. So if you celebrate Christmas and you're watching, I hope you have an amazing one. It is Christmas, so I hope today is an amazing day for you. And I hope you have lots of fun and lots of food and lots of crazy stuff. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I still hope it's an amazing day for you. Just an amazing, normal day that's not a holiday.
Brock?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and have a solid, what day is Christmas this year? Tuesday. No, Monday. No, Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. It is absolutely a Tuesday. Haley has come back to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Say Merry Christmas, Haley.
That's
Come on.
perfect.
Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for watching. We look forward to talking more in the new year. We got our year review show coming up on the 31st, ranking Star Wars on the 1st if we can record it. Ranking Star Wars is going to be a lot of fun because we got so many, like I said, different people involved now, and the rankings are so very different. There are a few movies that are pretty much dead set to be at the top and dead set to be on the bottom. But the middle is very interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun to do. Brock, get me your list as soon as possible. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a Merry Christmas. Brock, except for you, because you were always scum.
Holiday scum!
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.